Yang mana dapat silau, yang mana Nadi, betul orang berlebar nabula, yang mana Cina, betul berlebar nalani, yang mana Cina wakla, berlebar nawa Cina kubarua, yang mana nak berlebar Cina nala, tapi nawa yang mana Cina awal. Reverend Talusia Tertu, thank you for being here this morning. My fellow Member of Parliament and Shadow Minister for Tourism and Civil Aviation, Honourable Fire Square, Convention Chair, Ms. Jenny Sito, Fiji Airways Board Chair, Nalin Patel, Permanent Secretaries, Chief Executive Officers, General Managers, esteemed guest speakers and panelists, the tourism family, our event partners, Tourism Fiji and Encore, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we stand today. I pay my respects to the chiefs, past and present, as well as the emerging leaders. It is my honor to welcome you to the 3rd Fiji Tourism Convention and extend my warmest wishes for the new year. Ladies and gentlemen, standing before you today, I do so not only as a Minister for Tourism, but as someone who has had the privilege of walking this journey with you over the past 3 years. Tourism at its core is not built by governments or companies. It is built by the men and women who open their doors every morning, hoteliers, tour operators, dive masters, farmers, drivers, artisans, chefs, guides, and entrepreneurs, many of whom took extraordinary risks to keep this industry going. I want to acknowledge you first, because every statistic we speak about today has a human story behind it. When we get a glass, ladies and gentlemen, we celebrated a record 929,740 visitors in 2023. In 2024, we exceeded that number. In the year 2025, I am pleased to share that we reached a new record of 986,267 visitors by air, a slight increase of 0.03%. If we look at cruise visitors, the first 3 quarters of 2025, the Bureau of Stats recorded 27,420 passengers. So both by air and sea, we saw more than 1 million visitors visiting our shores. While the increase is modest at 0.3%, the base is close to 1 million and contributes significantly to the Fijian economy, remaining on track for a 4th consecutive year in 2025 at 3.4%, following a 3.5% expansion in 2024. According to the UN Tourism, international tourist arrivals grew by 4% in 2025. With an estimated 1.52 billion recorded globally, almost 60 million more than in 2024. So tourism globally remains a powerhouse, and we need to be part of this global growth. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last year, we have had many victories. We strengthened air connectivity, advanced policy reforms, hosted major international events, rolled out programs to support new regions and MSMEs, advanced foundational work on tourism enabling legislations, and strengthened momentum toward a national sustainable tourism standards framework. Many of you in this room received international accolades for your service excellence, recorded high occupancy, and grew your client base. These are achievements we should acknowledge because they were not inevitable. They were earned through hard work, not risk-taking and collective belief in the sector we serve. But leadership also demands honesty. As your minister, I acknowledge that there are areas where we have fallen short. Some reforms have taken longer than they should have. Some communities are still waiting to fully fill the boundaries of tourism. Some entrepreneurs, especially small and emerging businesses, continue to face barriers that we must work harder to remove. Recognize this is not a weakness, it is a responsibility. What has remained constant through both programs and setbacks is that tourism is powered by people. Governments can create frameworks and policy direction, but it is you, the industry, and entrepreneurs who turn opportunity into reality. As its convention centers enters its third year, it does so at a defining moment for Fiji's tourism sector. We are no longer measuring success purely by visitor numbers or growth alone. Our focus has shifted slightly toward how tourism grows, who participates and benefits from that growth, and how resilient the sector remains over the long term. I will say this every time. Tourism remains central to Fiji's economy, supporting jobs, enterprise development, and livelihoods across our nation. But the environment in which tourism operates today is more complex than ever before. Global travel patterns are changing, business expectations are evolving, communities are more engaged and rightly seek a stronger voice, and climate and economic pressures continue to test the resilience of our visitors. In this context, the Fiji Tourism Convention is not a ceremonial gathering. It is a platform for alignment, bringing policy direction, industry realities, and community priorities. I understand over the year ahead, we have many more gatherings, from the Fiji Excellence in Tourism Awards next month, to the Fiji Tourism Exchange in March, and HOTEC Trade Show in October. There's much to look forward to. This convention, however, is led by your land ministry because it creates a more strategic space for direct engagement with government, where industry perspectives can inform policy, thinking, regulatory reform, and longer-term planning. We may not be able to resolve every issue facing this sector in 2 days, but we are committed to having these conversations openly and constructively. Some will be difficult, some will challenge established positions, but they are necessary if we are serious about building a tourism industry that is resilient, inclusive, and fit for the future. So I need you to use this space well. We have yet again brought together an esteemed list of key speakers and panelists, some of whom have traveled from outside Vita level and even from abroad. We also have among us key government agencies. Raise your concerns, make the contributions, and ask the questions that need to be asked. As you have heard from the chair, we have concrete outputs to bring back to the next convention. The theme, ladies and gentlemen, of this year's convention, Tourism Beyond Boundaries, reflects the national direction. It challenges us to rethink traditional approaches to tourism development. Tourism can no longer be viewed as confined to specific locations or isolated within a single sector. Last week, I led a multi-stakeholder mission to Laut. The Laut group faces a significant challenge in its distance, despite its inherent beauty. Yet, what we witnessed there was more than geography. It was potential waiting to be unlocked. And if you're a Fijian, don't think that you won't get burned when you go to Laut. Laut reminds us that tourism is not about how far a place is from the world, but how ready we are to connect the world to it. Let us bring the world to Laut, carefully, respectfully, and on terms by its people, defined by its people, culture, and environment. While we already have established tourism regions like the Coral Coast, the Honourable, and Yasawas, the vision is to establish the Lao Group as a unique tourism region and its own distinct brand and characteristics. And I firmly believe that Lao presents significant opportunities for high-value investments. This approach is reflected in the Honourable Tourism Development Program, which is anchored on the 4 A's of tourism: attractions, access, amenities, and ancillary services. The program focuses on improving connectivity, strengthening natural and cultural assets, upgrading essential infrastructure, and supporting local enterprise and skills. Its purpose is to enable tourism to grow in a blended, balanced, and community-aligned manner, prioritizing long-term sustainability over rapid expansion. Ladies and gentlemen, government's role, as mentioned in the National Sustainable Tourism Framework, is to enable, coordinate, and safeguard the tourism sector. Our responsibility is to create the conditions for sustainable growth while ensuring the risks are managed and benefits are scaled. Under the coalition government, our actions reflect that responsibility. We continue to invest in enabling infrastructure, strengthen community-based tourism and MSMEs, raise innovation, support skills development and workforce readiness, embed climate resilience into tourism planning, and maintain confidence in aviation safety and connectivity. Initiatives such as the Honourable Tourism Development Program demonstrate this policy alignment with a focus on regional balance, community empowerment, and long-term value creation rather than short-term gain. Ladies and gentlemen, a core principle of the National Sustainable Tourism Framework is that communities must sit at the center of tourism development. Sustainable tourism cannot be achieved without meaningful engagement, local capability, and respect for traditional land ownership and cultural stewardship. Tourism beyond boundaries, therefore, requires us to work alongside communities from the outset, building skills, improving access to finance and markets, and ensuring that tourism development strengthens rather than undermines social and cultural foundations. Community participation is not optional. It is fundamental to authenticity, sustainability, and long-term success. Ladies and gentlemen, over the next 2 days, the convention will build on the outcomes of previous gatherings, address emerging challenges and opportunities, and encourage collaboration across sectors. Discussion alone is not enough. What matters is how insights gained here translate into action that strengthens the sector and broadens its benefits. Ladies and gentlemen, let this third Fiji Tourism Convention reaffirm our collective commitments to a tourism sector that is inclusive, sustainable, and future-ready. I wish you a productive discussions and meaningful outcomes over the next 2 days.